In this episode of It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room, we take a look at my Diecast car collection that kinda sorta survived my childhood, and a role-playing game that is based on an awesome 80s cartoon. So, stick around! Hello everybody and welcome to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. In this episode, like I said, we're going to take a look at my diecast car collection that I had since I was a kid. It's not that many survived, but there could be a couple cool things. We'll get to that. And we're going to talk about an awesome role-playing game that's based on an awesome 80s cartoon. So, without further ado, let's jump into the cars. Okay, the cars. Now these are probably Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars, maybe some other oddball ones, but I haven't opened this box in a while. Let me show you what it is. It was a Social Security, not Social Security. Now let's take a look at these cars. Now, these are in a box that I have not opened in a long time. They are in, heck, this could be an entry into my side of the laundry room itself, but they're in a Grand Theft Auto 4 security deposit box. This came with the special edition of the game when it came out, and the game was in here with some other goodies, a soundtrack and all. But I had my cars in here actually locked away for a very long time, so this could be cool or could be a disappointment. We'll see. Let me know in the comments. So let's open this bad boy up and see what we got. As long as I can figure out how to use these keys. Keys come on this awesome Rockstar keychain that also came with it. So let's put the keys down and open this up and see what we got. Oh, I see a couple cool ones. Now, some of my collection actually came from my father. Oh, excuse me, my hat seems a little crooked, or I got a crooked head. Either way. Anyway, came from some of that my father had when he was a kid. So let's take a look here. First off, I see we got this STP son of a gun car, like an old race car, stock car, or whatever. You got the STP, which, believe me, in the 90s I displayed this proudly because I was a huge fan of Stone Temple Pilots. This is a Matchbox, a Pontiac Firebird Racer. Got a year on here of 1985. I have no memories of how these or any of my cars came into my collection, but I remember really digging this one. Very cool, good little racer. I like that, if this was intentional, if you can see this back glass has lines through it for like the defrost lines. So I think that's pretty cool. Got a blue underbelly. Actually metal throughout, which is a rarity nowadays. So that's number one. Now, just a quick little side note here. The reason I even thought about these recently was because, well, my son, who's 4, always loves his Hot Wheels. They're a cheap, affordable toy that can quiet a kid down, and it's very easy to amass a monster collection. One day, maybe I'll take a look at his, because we had this huge 3-story parking garage with a King Kong that goes up the side. Very awesome. Anyway, recently when I started hunting for cars with him when we go to Walmart, I found a few that are over here. maybe at the end of going over these, we'll take a look at these newer ones that I've picked up. But anyway, let's see what else is in here. They were probably cheap when we were kids too, probably 50 cents. They're $1 now, which in the world of toys ain't anything. When a normal action figure costs you over 10 bucks, $1 for a car, I ain't got no problem with spending. Here we go, this white Fiero. Which, do they even make those anymore? This might be just 80s through and through. By the way, metal throughout. They don't roll worth a darn. This has a date of 1984 by Mattel. So Hot Wheels, the hot ones, Fiero 2M4. I shouldn't be looking through my glasses anymore. I've gotten some positive feedback from others that have to do that, but these are now progressive lens that are bifocals, so I need to learn to look through down. Anyway, giving you a little bit too much info on myself. One of the neat things is, as you can see, there's actually a muffler and stuff that they molded onto the bottom. That's a neat little addition. Has a little tailpipe that kind of ends there, doesn't flare out. But this is a cool car that I liked. I mean, I liked racing style cars, but I never had too many Hot Wheels or Matchbox. I mean, I had a few, but not that many. I mean, I'm not really a car guy. I was when Transformers came out, mind you. Now let me look at the ear on this before I look down. Okay. Yeah, I still gotta do this. Okay. Here's a dune buggy from 1969. So I'm assuming this was probably in my father's collection. Nice purple metal body. The plastic windshield and top here, very frosted over, very ghosted from age. But these little flower decals have still made it. That's pretty neat. That's just a neat little dune buggy. Look at the tailpipes coming out of the back. They're molded onto the metal bottom. Like I said, it's a Hot Wheels sand crab from 1969. So that's pretty cool. That's the year we landed on the moon, folks. So, hey, that says something. It actually rolls a lot better than some of these other ones from the 80s I have. Actually, the Fiero rolls pretty good, but that STP card, not so much. Next, I do remember wanting this because of how awesome it looked. But I can't recall where or when. Probably Ames. That's where I got most of my toys back in the day. But this is a Matchbox from 1982. And it's like this racing big rig tow truck, because it has a tow truck hookup on the back here, or at least for a trailer. And it's called Super Boss. Very patriotic. Got the red, white, and blue. Got some light issues here, so I apologize for that. Thought I changed it in my camera, but it may have changed itself back, because I actually made my settings a little bit darker, because I had someone, a friend of a friend, comment on that it's too bright sometimes. So I darkened it up a little bit, but now I'm having these light issues. So anyway, this is, to me, at the time, in 1982, this was the coolest of the cool. I loved this truck. You can see it's definitely been beaten up. Got a crack there, or a little chunk taken out. But it even has green windshield, green plastic. Or it may have been blue at one time and now it's green. But you can see under the chrome embellishment on the oh, why is the word escaping me? The fender and the grill, it was green. It's green, like plastic underneath. But again, completely metal body and undercarriage. Rolls really good still. Hey, that's neat. Now, there's something in here really 80s, very cool, that they don't make anymore at all, which is a surprise, but we'll get to that. Here we go, another one. Just to look at the age here, 1982 again. Hot Wheels. Kind of a messed up windshield. But we have this red Cobra Corvette. Awesome because the hood lifts up. Got his engine in there. But like I said, the windshield got smushed. Got the headrest guard thing here on the back of the driver's seat. Has it got a name? Nope, just Hot Wheels, 1982, made in Malaysia. Apparently to collectors, where they're made means something with the quality of the actual car. Like I said, my son's really into Hot Wheels. He's going through a phase of it right now heavily, so we're checking out other YouTubers that specialize in diecast cars. And I'm learning a lot. It's really amazing. Which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get into this box and see what I have. Unfortunately, like with some of my other things, this is part of my collection that I won't share with my son because, yeah, he's a little rough, and these are pieces of history. This is from 1982, and it's this cool little army vehicle. Got gun on the back that moves around, gun on the sides, and camouflage. To me, this screams Megaforce. This seems like one of the Megaforce vehicles that they would drive around in, and that's probably why I wanted it so bad. It doesn't have a name. A lot of the stuff later on were named on the bottom. We got gas cans on the back or something. That's cool. Maybe it's a cooler. Maybe it is Megaforce and they're going out to have a beer later on the desert. But I just dug this car. And like I said, it really reminded me of Megaforce. So I just needed to have it. I don't think they ever did come out with any Megaforce merchandise. So maybe something like this was planned, and then when the movie bombed, they just quickly just released it as something else. I don't know. I need to double check to see when Megaforce actually came out. It might have been way after 83. Anyway, fun little car. Rolls like poop. This episode already has taken a little bit longer than I thought, so I might just pick through some of the cooler things here and get back to them later. Okay, Matchbox series, made in England, a refuse truck. No date, but I'm assuming old, maybe from my father's collection. But this is a neat little garbage truck with this feature that it like does the dumping part of it. Like you throw the trash in there, you collect it all day, go to the dump and dump it in. As you can hear, that's all metal. Has very molded wheels. A little bit of rust on it. I mean, I can remember playing with this in the sand. So it used to be a lot shinier one day. But after playing with the sand for so long, it kind of dulled it up. This one was another one that I just had to have. And this is from, it's called Teetotaler. Oh, from 1976. I remember wanting it, so this might have been one from the Goodwill or something. Because I was born in 76, so it's not like I was able to buy it at the store. But look at this. It almost looks like an old circus wagon. Written on it is Your Basic Express Trucking Company, established 1901. I got it. Has this gold bottom. Plastic, surprisingly, with some metal pipes coming out here. Missing one of the plastic pieces here on the side that you can see here, missing from the other side. But just a fun little car. like I said, this is taking a little bit longer than I thought, so let me just show two more things that are very 80s before we jump into the next thing. Now, this is neither a Matchbox nor a Hot Wheels, but this is the General Lee from the old Rev and Watch line or something that was called. Oh my goodness, it worked a little bit. You got this watch with a big plastic, not a real watch, but a wristband with a big plastic thing on it that the General Lee would sit inside of. It had a little retractable ramp that you could pull out, and you would wind it up. Oh my goodness, it's working. Open the plastic thing and it would race out. They had this and one of the police cars from Dukes of Hazzard, and I'm surprised it's working to some degree, because I remember Christmas morning, there we go, my cousins revved it too much, so much that it did something to the gears or something in there. That's why I'm shocked that it's working. I can do this and it works. Maybe I did something, but it has rubber wheels. It's a nice little General Lee. And of course, that's, yeah, we won't talk about that. But Dukes of Hazzard was still an awesome show when I was a kid. They were so cool with their explosive bow and arrows and jumping over everything. Very cool. But this next thing, Hot Wheels from 1983. This yellow cruiser. Now what's cool about this is you run into something, boom. Now it's got battle damage. And Mattel would use this same toy technology on He-Man for Battle Armor He-Man, because you hit it. Oh, come on. Don't make a liar. There we go. Boom! Hood comes up. You got a dented front there. See? And just like Battle Armor He-Man, that when his armor would get hit, it would look like battle damage. So, but I'm surprised that they don't make something like this anymore. Just a simple little thing like that. I mean, this is from 83, and it still works. It's still in good shape. Boom. And they don't use this toy technology anymore. Nowadays, it's, you know, it's these crumpled sides that are reminiscent of this, but not as simple. There's a lot more to it. But battle damage. But this is the only one I ever had. I wanted more. I remember the commercials. They were very cool. Anyway, like I said, it's got a little bit longer than I anticipated. I apologize, but let's watch a commercial.
Cracking up our crack-ups? We're doing it!
Hot Wheels Crack-Ups Crash Course. You put it together. Set comes with one Crack-Ups car. Other cars sold separately.
We can smash them into the barrier, crash them into the window, and we can fix them. Side crashes here, front and rear crashes here. Then we can bash them and trash them.
Hot Wheels Crack-Ups Crash Course comes with one Crack-Ups car. Other cars sold separately. Some sets not for use with some cars. New from Hot Wheels by Mattel.
Hello and welcome back. I hope you liked that commercial. Now, let's take a look at an old role-playing game. Okay, in the lead-in, I said this was based on a great 80s cartoon, and it is. But us in America kind of got a different version than that was seen in the original country of origin, Japan. And that is Robotech. This is a role-playing game put out by Palladium. And let's see if I can find a publishing year. This is the 8th printing, and this came out in 1991. I didn't know this existed at the time, but when I did find out it existed, I needed to get more and more and more. Unfortunately, I ran out of money before more and more got there. But there's a lot of books in this series, and hopefully one day I'll start putting together the whole collection. because, as you'll see here, they're a great source book for Robotech in general. I loved the cartoon growing up. It was a little bit of everything. If you were a fan of Transformers, it had it. If you were a fan of just action, it had it. If you were a fan of melodrama, it had it. Which, at a young age, I really got into the soap opera aspect of it. Anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at some of the stuff in this book. First off, on the back, we have like a blueprint of the SDF-1. We got the bridge, kind of a long shot there. So that's a good way to start. And the artwork by Long is just perfect. Now, one of the great things, and you'll see that it in the next time I tackle some of these Robotech books, that they go into a little bit more than what we got in the American show. They actually took equal inspirations from the original Japanese version and the American show. And that was a neat, eye-opening thing to read in here. With the Turtles books, which are also Palladium, and the Beyond the Supernatural, which I covered at Halloween, Palladium is a very in-depth role-playing game system. Everything from characters having phobias and paranoia and things like that, to skills and weapon use. Even your hit points broke into, with this, SDC, which is Structural Damage Capacity. And that is your armor, or in this case, like your Veritex and stuff, how much damage they can take before it gets to you, the meaty interior of it. So we can start off here with a picture of a Zentradi that's been blasted in the back. But we'll skip all the rules stuff and get to some of the cool aspects and artwork. Like this great picture, picture of a Veritech here. But you even had your optional rules for, like, you can roll for where you're from, and it has the Mars base and Moon base. So that's pretty cool. Family ties, your parents died in Civil War, alive and well, both died in the Zentradi global assault, things like that. But here's one of the things that we only saw small glimpses of in America. But that was the Destroids, which were the mechs that didn't transform, but supplied a lot of heavy firepower. These ended up being a big inspiration for, God, I'm horrible at this, for the Battletech role-playing game. I apologize for how horrible I am for getting this stuff up on camera. In the future, I'll try to do what I used to do by having the camera pointed down and going through it. But let me scoot up a little bit here. But here we have your OCC, which is your occupation. We have Destroid pilots. We have Veritech fighter pilot. Communications engineer. Not an interesting picture. Electrical engineer, field scientists, mechanical engineer, military scientist or military specialists. So we get into all the skills and stuff associated with those jobs. But who really wants to be an engineer when you can pilot an awesome mech? I guess if you want to get into the role playing more than the combat. Got mecha combat rules. Cool picture of the Veritex there. I love this type of art where it showed the missiles coming out and that awesome anime effect of the smoke trails zipping around. Different combats. Here we go. Earth Mecha. Got your different Veritex. Here's one of your Destroids again. And here's a big picture of the Veritech that we get into that chapter. Look at this. Even has a picture of how the handle is and its firing buttons. Here it is in Guardian mode. In different quarter turns of it. And it goes into like its landing gear, how you eject out of it, which we did see in the cartoon. And here we get the different models of Veritech. Which, watching the show, yes, there were different models, but I didn't really know much about them. But we got the VF-1A, which has the single gun. The VT-1D, which has the double, but it's a trainer model. The VF-IJ, which is a fighter model. A little bit bigger than the training model. And then the big and bad model right here that's got the dual gun placements on the head, and that is the VF-1S Veritech fighter. Here's the Super Veritech with its armor on it, which if you're a Transformer fan and Jetfire, you know that armor intimately. Talks about the Super Veritech. Here's Armor Veritech, which is a little bit different. It has awesome missile bays on the chest there and on the legs. Again, I'm sorry for the lighting and I'm sorry for how horrible I am at this. Again, I'll go to a top-mounted camera in the future to really show you the great artwork. We got rocket sleds that help them speed through space. And here we go, the Destroids. We got the Excalibur. Look at that thing. Great artwork. You get to see where all the missile bays and stuff are. How the cockpit comes off when you need to eject. Here's the Gladiator model. A big brawler of a mech. Missile bays, cannons hidden in the chest. Here's the Mach 2. Which, the one standout for the Destroids was in the episode where the SDF punched in through that Zentradi, like, giant gunship transport, its mothership, if you will. The SDF punched through it, then opened up its hand inside, and within the hand were probably dozens, if not 100 Destroids, and they all just open fired at once. Closed the hand, pulled it back out. Ship was messed up. Here's the Raider X, and of course this jumps to mind because in Battletech that's the Rifleman, which is a very popular model. Here we go. Here's a bigger picture of the Raider X. Oh, that's the Spartan. Here's the Raider X. And then here's the Spartan, like I said, which is just a bad mother missile firing machine. And later on, Battletech took inspiration from this, but then Exoforce also took inspiration from both this and Battletech, which is very interesting. Here we got the Armor ARMD series space platforms. Little picture there. The Lancer gunship. When I say gunship, it's just guns with an engine. Lancer Space Fighter, Space Shuttle, Searcher. These are kind of boring. The Cat's Eye Recon. A Falcon fighter jet. The QF-3000E Ghost. I'm probably way off, but that kind of sort of looks like that small little transport that Rick Hunter was flying in when we first meet him. The RDF motorcycle, which we know came from a whole nother series. That came from the Mopeda or whatever anime series that got folded into Robotech for the American audiences. But here we go, the Zentradi. And for those that never watched Robotech, you know, can imagine giant mechs. But the Zentradi were a humanoid alien race that were giants. So when they fought, it was pretty much hand to hand. But then they had mechs of their own, like these battle pods. And they came in different styles with missiles and different weapons on them. This one. And then the officer's battle pod, which is a mech that launched 1,000 other mechs in the Battletech universe. They had power armor. Different power armor. You got Zentradi quick roll villains. They're hand to hand for their size. Got adventure scenarios. They even have a whole thing on the Japanese show and how names were different for some of the weapons and destroids. And then we have all the character write-ups. We got Rick Hunter, Lisa Hayes, Lin-Min May, Max Sterling. Which, I mean, everybody loves Max Sterling. Got Miria Sterling, his Zentradi shrunk down to human-sized wife. Got Chiron. Here we go, the SDF. You get the same blueprints that are on the back, but they're a lot more legible in this way. Here's the SDF fully transformed. Which, if you watched the show at the time, live, tuning in every day after school like I did, didn't that just blow your mind when the SDF transformed? Did not see that happening. Here's different quarter turns of it. Anyway, just a quick look at this. Sorry, had to make it quick because kind of got bogged down on talking about those cars for a little bit. But there is a lot more, in my opinion, cooler things to come the next time I talk about the Robotech Role Playing Game. But, thank you for watching. Sorry, a little bit all over the place with the cars and this and yeah. Anyway, I apologize for that. But anyway, what you saw, give me a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment. I love reading them and I love getting back to you all. And if you're new around here, hit the subscribe and hit that little bell whenever you want to be notified of a new episode. But until next time, keep being rad and stay dorky.